I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it already feels like home.
You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford. Powered by Horizon. This is big. This is gig.
Well, hey, everybody. So it's just us this week.
It is. It's kind of quiet in the studio.
That's right.
Something we're not used to.
No dogs yet.
Yeah. Finn has not made his way down.
Yeah. But hey, we've got something that we want to throw out, and we think it's we've been trying to find a way to engage our audience even more. We correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you guys do a great job of reacting to us and sending us notes and Facebook messages and so on. But we really haven't found a way to get below the surface of we are here, a guest or a guests are here. Like, how do we engage the audience better?
Right. Yeah. We haven't figured out how to get our audience's voices on the podcast. Their voice is heard in our Facebook page and when they send us emails, and we run into them in public things and they talk about, an episode that they like, but how do we get them to be on the mic across the table from us?
Yeah. And so, since we've struggled with this for quite a while, we're figuring out a way to do it. A
fun way to do it.
Yeah. A fun way to do it. And I think one that, regardless of what your interests are, you can play along with this. And it's almost like stump the podcast guys.
We're giving you an opportunity to mess with us a little bit.
You might pick something that we don't know anything about. So here's the idea and here's the concept. Okay.
Lay it out for us, Mike.
I'm not sure I can, but I'm going to try the best that I can. All right. So a lot of folks out there are familiar with the concept of fantasy football, fantasy baseball. I play it. Marty's played it in the past. And the idea of a fantasy draft is you're not drafting a team of players. You're drafting a single player from a team. And the idea is to put together the best team and win. Some people play for money, some people play for bragging rights, and so on. So we want to do Feels Like Home fantasy drafts. We're not sure that we're going to call it that yet.
Yeah, we're still working on the name.
But this is the way it's going to go. So we will come up with a 5-round fantasy draft for a topic of a specific topic. And each one of the people, Marty and I will be included, and then we'll go to at least 5 people at most, I think. So in other words, you would pick the topic, and then we may refine it depending on what you pick. If you pick something like best horror films, like that feels like that's pretty broad. So maybe we would focus on best 90s horror films or best 80s horror films or something like that. But the idea would be, if you're interested in this, you would send us an email to feelslikehomepod@gmail.com. And you would you would tell us what topic you would like to use. And then, your name, and then also the name of at least 1 or 2 others. That way, if we did 5, we could have a 5-round draft. But the idea would be that we would pick 5 of whatever this topic is. So I'll give an example here in just a minute. And then in turn, after we are done, a little while after the episode airs, we would throw it open to the voters and say, all right, Feels Like Home listeners on Facebook, I think particularly is where we would do this. We're going to put a poll up. We'll probably have a graphic of what the 5
teams.
Teams our choices were, and you pick the top 5 of all of these. You think it's Marty's choice this month or one of our guests, then you would do it. So let me give you an example, so that way we can kind of
Yeah, I think it'll help clarify.
Do it a little better. So the one that I just saw most recently was a let me go to the 2009 movies, which I thought was really, really interesting. So I'm sorry, I'm going to do I'm doing the let's do Avengers, because that feels like it's a little bit easier to do. So we would have, let's say there's 4 people and we're sitting here, and we randomly select, who's going to go first, and
Who
all
the number
draft.
one seed.
The number one pick will go to X, and maybe their job is to pick the best Marvel movie. Okay, so somebody's going to pick Endgame. The next person will pick, let's say, Captain Marvel. And then the next person picks the Hulk. That would never happen.
With Marty Ford's number one pick in the Avengers
draft,
fantasy draft
he
would
selects.
I select Iron Man.
See, and then the way that it works is that the all 4 go next, and then we'll do it in snake draft format, which means that 1 through 4 go. And then the 4 position goes first in the next round, back to 3, 2, and 1, and then all the way down.
And then my job is, and your job and our guest's job is to assemble the best group of 5 team.
Yep.
With those, and then we'll let the public vote on.
And
who assembled the best team.
I do fantasy drafts every year for football and baseball, and I go in every year, especially with baseball. I do a lot of research. I don't do as much in fantasy football, and those that play fantasy football with me can tell you it shows. But, I go in with certain guys that I want on those fantasy baseball teams, and it usually never works out that way.
Somebody takes your pick, and then you're like scrambling to figure out.
Oh, literally, especially because there's a time clock, right? So, you might be trying to pick, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and the guy right in front of you picks him, and then you're like, oh man, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. You gotta,
So, and who knows, maybe happenstance happens and you get all 5 that you wanted. But maybe the listeners don't think it's the number one, or the best one. So, I want to emphasize, this is about you guys and about, having some fun. This is not a thing, in all honesty, like if we did, 10 of these things and they were all on sports, that'd be kind of boring for everybody. So be creative, come up with things that you can't think of. I saw one earlier that was best fictional sports athletes from movies.
I think that's a great one.
And the baseball,
that'd be fun.
And the baseball selections were both what you would think, and they were also kind of comical. And so, Star Wars is a possibility, Avengers is a possibility, Star Trek, even though I know nothing about Star Trek, really,
Yeah. So I think the beauty of this is our guests gets to choose the subject.
Yes.
And then Mike and I will have to scramble to catch up if it's a subject that we are not familiar with.
Yeah.
Now, maybe somebody will throw us an underhand,
Yeah. I mean, look, we could do a fantasy draft on best Chillicothe food. Right. I think that would be really fun. I think, best vacation spots. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. And so I always, whenever I'm on Twitter or whatever, and I'm scrolling through and I see one, I always click through to read it. I think they're fascinating.
I think they're fun. Yeah. And I would agree with that. Historical Chillicothe people.
Yes.
Might be a neat one to,
Yeah. Like my son asked me tonight on the way to basketball practice, Dad, who do you think the most famous person from Chillicothe was? And I mean, I had to think for a little bit, there's a lot of people in that list.
You have some options. Sometimes it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But you have some choices here in Chillicothe.
And so if you had to pick 5 of those and come up with who you think is the most influential 5.
And you've got 4 people around the table. That's 20 people.
Yeah.
No, that might be a stretch to find 20.
You're going to have to work, right? And you might have an off the wall one that people don't think about.
You sneak a good one in.
there's just a lot to it where you could say, and look, if you're going to leave it up to the listeners to make the choices too, the best one may not win. Right. It's just whoever gets the most votes. Right. Or if you throw in a, off the wall or oddball selection at number 5, everybody might be like, I'm going to vote for that because it's unbelievable. Right. Right. So again, I think the way that we do this is email us at feelslikeHomepod@gmail.com. We will do our best to get back to you as soon as we can. We actually have an idea in mind for the first pairing that we're going to use.
Just to kind of give everybody an example.
Only because we feel like we may need to explain this a little bit better, because we really just kind of threw this together and are really rolling with it. But I think it'll be fun to do. And I think it's, I could see, if it were me and I was out there listening to this, I'd be like, top snack foods for Super Bowl Sunday. Like what's your number one pick?
Yeah. What's your go-to snack for
Is
movies?
it the buffalo dip?
Right.
Is it buffalo dip? Is it wings? Like, I don't know. There's a lot to go on here.
There's some good stuff.
Is it, you're just going to go Doritos? Kind of plain, but a solid choice. He's like the Andy Dalton of chips. He's going to get you to the playoffs, but he's just not going to get you anywhere else, right?
Right. He needs help to take him over the top, whether it's a dip or it's queso or...
Yeah, whereas chicken wings is probably going to get you there.
Yeah, it can carry
you can carry the whole load the
they
whole
can put
time.
the weight on the shoulders and go across the goal line.
There might be somebody that says, I want spinach artichoke dip, but that's not me.
No, that's not me. And that should never be on Super Bowl Sunday. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. That's like, why don't you have quiche? So, is it still like an insult to say quiche? Like it's not manly?
I don't know.
I don't feel like it is anymore.
Yeah, I think
it
it's
like used to be a like the quiche thing used to be a slam. Yeah, it's not anymore.
I don't think it is. I'm already thinking of people that we know are listeners of our podcast.
Yeah.
In my mind that I think will jump all over this.
Yep.
And maybe there'll be some people that surprise us. And maybe we'll have some previous guests that'll jump in and say, hey, I want a part of this. And
if you're somebody that has never been on or is just out there and a listener and you can think of something and you already know somebody or two somebodies that you want to have join you, send us an email. feelslikeHomepod@gmail.com. Look, this really comes down to this. This is a way for us to engage a little bit more, to have a little bit of fun, and to probably do some things that put us out of our comfort zone a little bit. Just because, in all honesty, that's fun too. So
I'm looking forward to it. And if it bombs, that's okay.
Yeah, if it bombs, it was my idea. If it was great, it's Marty's idea.
That's not true.
So
that's not true. We're in this together, Mike.
We are indeed.
We are. Sorry.
Oh man,
High School
you
musical.
just went High School Musical around me?
Yeah, there's a fantasy draft right there.
That's right. So anyhow, again, if you can think of a topic, we would appreciate it if you would email us your name and the names of one or two others. I would check with them first. Just saying. And then your topic, and we'll try to get this thing rolling. Again, feelslikeHomepod@gmail.com is the place to do this.
This is a great way to kick off 2023.
Yeah, I've this has been in my head for a little while now, and I wasn't quite sure how to pull it off. And then I was like, you know what? It's kind of like when we did the podcast, and I ruminated on it forever, and then finally, you cajoled me into doing it. I needed to just pull the ripcord and jump. So right now I'm in the air flying. I got that GoPro on my head, and somebody's out on there looking at me, and I'm like crying because I'm a little scared, but I'm still going down. So we would love for you guys to send us emails and to have a lot of fun with this like we are. Who knows? Maybe we can get we can get a sponsor, and we can do some T-shirts and some fun stuff to kind of go along with this. Do a little prize.
Yeah, I'll work on that.
At the very least, what we might be able to do is just like craft a trophy and then like the worst trophy ever.
I think that's getting
pose
better
with it.
and better, right?
So
it's sort of like the what do you get to pose with at the Southern Ohio axe throwing?
Oh yeah, with the goat.
The goat.
Yeah,
that's
the
right.
soat goat.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you get the stamp. We don't have a stamp yet, but maybe we will.
Yeah.
You could stamp yourself along your forehead or your forearm or something like that.
Yeah,
So
we'll have to come up with our thing that you get your picture taken
that's
with.
right. Well, again, folks, thanks for listening to Feels Like Home. We are absolutely overjoyed with, we're doing something that we love doing, but at the same time, we love that you guys love it because that makes it a lot more enjoyable when we know that what we're doing is resonating with other folks. And so, we've got more guests coming up here soon, and we're excited to bring some folks that we've been trying to get for a while and haven't gotten. And then, keep the suggestions coming our way because we're not smart enough to think of everybody. So,
maybe we're missing out on somebody that we really should be talking to.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, we thank you so much for listening. Please, keep reaching out to us through our social media, both Twitter. We also have a Linktree now. So if you look up Feels Like Home Pod on Linktree, you'll find a list of all of our stuff. I may have to put a link to how I explain this thing. So, but thanks again for listening, and we hope to hear from you soon. This is big. Horizon Fiber Internet is ready
Let them get you hooked up and power your Wi-Fi network
with the speed and reliability that only a 100% fiber network can do.
Horizon is ready to help you do what you do better. With real people, real rates, and a real service.
Connect with them today, and the first month is free, plus no contracts and no data caps. Call 740-772-8331
or visit horizonconnects.com/Chillicothe
to sign up today.
When the night turns dark, they turn on the lights.
You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford. Powered by Horizon. This is big. This is gig.
It feels a little strange, but I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it already